following the Minnesota Vikings trade to acquire the number 23 overall pick from the Houston Texans, speculation has gone to new heights. Because now, what are the Minnesota Vikings going to do with the 2 first-round picks that they have? And everybody is saying the same thing. They are going to move up to snag Drake Maye or JJ McCarthy. But the question now becomes, which quarterback are they going to target? Because it is likely that Drake Maye is going to land in the top 3, probably number 3 to the New England Patriots. And there are other teams interested in the possibility of drafting JJ McCarthy, like the New York Giants, who have Daniel Jones as their starter. But would any team in the NFL feel good about having a Daniel Jones as their starting quarterback in the league, being paid $40 million per year? I don't think so. So where are the Minnesota Vikings going to trade up to with their number 11 and number 23? This take is presented by Hokeland Farm. Check out Hokeland Farm for rotationally grazed, 100% grass-fed Hereford beef. Hokeland Farm has the best beef around. Contact Jared at 952-491-1541 for 20% off your first order when you tell him you heard about Hokeland Farm on the Minnesota Tim podcast. Get great beef in your freezers today. So the question is, and we have heard that the Minnesota Vikings love and adore Drake Maye from North Carolina. But the question is, can they get that number 3 overall pick from the New England Patriots? This is what it would take. And because I've seen some stupid ideas floating around out there that the Vikings can trade 11 and 23 and a 3 to get up to that number 3 overall pick. No. That ain't going to cut it. It's going to take a number 11, a number 23, and a first-round pick next year at the very least to draft Drake Maye, number 3 overall, and get the hungry and needy New England Patriots to move back to 11-23 and a first-round pick next year. There is no way in heck that the Patriots are doing that deal without a first-round pick next year. So it's going to take that at the bare minimum to draft Drake Maye. But the question is this. The New England Patriots hardly have any worthy starting quarterbacks on their roster. I don't even know if I would consider Jacoby Brissett as worthy. And maybe they could bring in a Justin Fields to be a bridge quarterback until they draft a guy next year because they need a guy. But Fields doesn't seem to have a market anywhere. The Chicago Bears can't ship him off for a 7th round pick. Nobody wants the guy. So my best bet, and of course I'm just speculating just like everybody else, but my best bet is that the Minnesota Vikings draft JJ McCarthy with the number 5 overall pick. They trade with the Los Angeles Chargers, they get up to number 5, and they draft the quarterback out of Michigan. Because the New England Patriots, even though they are in need of many positions on their entire roster, they still need a quarterback, the most important position. And really, if you have the other positions filled out defensively, offensively, does it even matter if you don't have a quarterback that can throw the ball and keep you in games offensively? Absolutely not. That's why this next pick from the Minnesota Vikings is going to determine the future of Kwesi and Kevin O'Connell in the Vikings organization. Because they have the pieces around the quarterback put together. But if they ain't drafting a quarterback that's good, if they draft a quarterback that's a dud and not a stud, well, the Minnesota Vikings are going to be looking around that league for a long time to try to find a guy that can play. And you know what? The Washington Commanders, when they got rid of Kirk Cousins, they've been on a quarterback carousel ever since then. So you need to get this position right to make the defensive positions that you added look good, to make the players that you added offensively look good. It all revolves around the quarterback in the NFL, and every single person in the world knows it. So why wouldn't the New England Patriots draft a quarterback at number 3 to give their team a capable chance? Because here's the deal. When you draft a superstar quarterback, and let's say the Patriots do that at number 3, it makes all your other holes on your roster look a little less obvious because you have a superstar quarterback keeping you in games, keeping you in contention in the division. So I think the most likely scenario is the Minnesota Vikings trading to number 5 and drafting JJ McCarthy with the 5th overall pick. I've seen speculation out there that they might trade for the number 4 overall pick with the Arizona Cardinals, but you don't think the Arizona Cardinals want to draft Marvin Harrison Jr., one of the great wideouts coming out in draft history? Absolutely they do. You think about pairing him with Kyler Murray, and that's a match made in heaven. How do you not pursue that if you are the Arizona Cardinals? So, are the Vikings targeting Drake Maye? Maybe. They might be trying to get up to number 3, but I don't think they're going to be able to do it. I think the quarterback position is too valuable for the New England Patriots and every single NFL team. Now, if the Patriots add somebody via trade or via free agency, maybe that will allow the Vikings to trade up to the number 3 overall pick and select Drake Maye. Because apparently they adore him. They're in love with the guy. He's athletic. He can throw deep. It seems like he can do a little bit of everything. But I just think JJ's the guy at number 5. Now, I hope they can trade it to number 3 because I think Drake Maye has more superstar material than JJ McCarthy. JJ McCarthy seems a little Teddy Bridgewater-ish to me. He seems like a guy that can move the chains, but it doesn't I don't see him as a superstar quarterback in this league. I see May, I see Daniels, I see Caleb Williams as guys that have superstar attributes. And I don't think J.J. McCarthy has that. But I do think that's who the Minnesota Vikings end up drafting with the number 5 overall pick. If you're watching on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button. And if you are following the podcast on Apple or Spotify, please rate and review it, because that will give this podcast more viewership. That will get this podcast in front of more eyes. So if you're willing to do that, please do that. Thank you for listening, and thank you for making this podcast a part of your day.